So, you want to impress your mates by doing some mind reading tricks. Well, in today's video, we're going to be going through some psychological techniques and three different tricks that you can go out and perform. And it should hopefully inspire you to take what I'm about to teach you into different avenues and make original tricks. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on chasing the illusion. So before we get into the tricks, you kind of need to know what mind reading is first. Now, I hate to break it to you, it's nothing mystical, it's nothing magical, it's not real telepathy. It's just a mixture of psychology, observation, and sometimes a little bit of misdirection. Mind readers like me usually use some psychological techniques that help push our participants into thinking of predictable things. We also carefully look out for certain things like body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice to help us get a better understanding on what the people we're supposed to be reading are thinking. To be successful at mind reading, you also need to have a little bit of confidence. This is for a number of reasons. You'll see that a lot of the tricks we're going to get into are 100% accurate, like most psychological tricks. But the more confident you are when you're performing, the more likely the outcome will be good. Alternatively, you need to be guiding your participants to be thinking of the exact thing that you want them to be thinking about, especially in the context of this video. So, you need to be confident, you need to be telling them exactly what you want to do. Don't script what you're going to say, but you need to have a rough idea on what you're going to say as you're performing it. And that involves sitting and practicing what you're going to say. Trust me, I've spent many nights in my room on my own practicing psychological tricks when most people at my age at that time were doing different things in their room, which we won't go into. So, the first trick. This trick involves you asking someone to think of a number and you correctly guess it. All you have to do is ask someone to think of a number between 1 and 10. In fact, if you're watching this video right now, think of a number between 1 and 10. Now, if you're a magician, this probably won't work on you, and that's just because of how your brain works. But if you're not, first of all, hello, welcome to the channel. Second of all, you're probably thinking of the number 7. And if you're not thinking of the number 7, you're probably thinking of the number 3. Now, don't ask me how this works, it just does. Most people think of the number 7 first or the number 3 second out of all the other numbers between 1 and 10. Alternatively, if you ask someone to think of the number 1 to 100, they're more likely to pick the number 37 out of all those other numbers. And the reason because it's the same as the first one, the 7 and the 3, only how we learn how to count when we're growing up is 1 to 10, lowest to highest. So they'll think of the number 3 first and then the number 7. Now, like I said, this isn't 100% accurate. So be prepared to have a backup in place. What I like to do usually is I like to make someone think of a number between 1 and 10, and if they say the number 6, I will literally say what I've just told you. I will go, interesting. Most people go for the number 3 or the number 7, and the fact that you didn't and the fact you went for 6 means that you think a little bit outside the box. So I think you'll be perfect for this trick. And then I move on to another trick. But if you do get that hit and they are thinking of the number 7 or 3, you can use this to your advantage. Think of it like if you've got 10 different objects listed and you want to force that seventh object. All you've got to do is say, think of a number between 1 and 10, they pick the number 7 and it's the 7th object. Alternatively, there is the number 7 in a pack of cards. There's a 7 of clubs, spades, diamonds, or hearts. Come on, I'm a magician and I had to think of the last one. Oh dear. Moving on to the next trick. This time it's nothing to do with numbers and more to do with words. You're going to ask someone to think of any word and you're going to predict what that word is. Again, this uses another psychological technique which will help push the participant to think of what you want them to be thinking of. You can ask your mate to think of a word like a fruit, something like an orange or a banana. And in fact, if you're thinking of a fruit right now, you'll probably think of apple, right? Again, what I've just done there is limit via inclusion, which a lot of magicians, a lot of mind readers do. Most people will pick an apple. Most people will think of an apple, and then it's an orange, and then it's a banana. So me saying think of a fruit like an orange or banana, again, pushes you to think of the word apple. And there's so many categories that you can go for. Things like animals, vehicles, movies. There's loads. Honestly, there is loads. And in my book Progression, I hate to be shameless plugging, but in my book Progression, I have a whole list of different categories that you can force people to do, and the more likely thing they're going to pick out of each category. And if they don't go for the false one that you want to do, for instance, apple with fruits, then I go into a way, it's called a progressive anagram, to then guess what fruit they are thinking of. If you want to check out my book, it will be linked somewhere. Okay, so the next trick involves a deck of cards, and we're actually going to be using one of the techniques used earlier in this video. It's the numbers force. I did allude to it earlier, but this isn't the actual trick I was going to perform, but I've just thought of this as it happens, and I'm quite proud of it, and I want to share it with people. I'll be honest with you. So this is a completely hands-off force. It's brilliant. Again, it's probably not going to work 100% of the time, but you're in a good chance of it happening. So remember the numbers force, the 7 or the 3, which most people will pick the number 7. So you just go to your participant, think of a number between 1 and 10. Don't tell me what it is, just think of a number between 1 and 10. If they're thinking of the number 7, perfect. You just go, right. Now what I want you to do is go through the deck like this until you see your number for the first time, and then remember what suit that is, and you're sorted. Now I know for this that it'll be the 7 of hearts. So say I'm the participant now, they're thinking of number 7, they're going to go through the deck until they reach the 7 of hearts. Real easy force if they think of the number 7. Now a way to do this, and the simple way of doing it, is just by making sure there is no other 7s at the bottom or the top of the deck, however orientation you want for it. So you just pop it in here, and you're good to go. So the first one that they see is the 7 of hearts. Or you could just use any force. You could use any force. If you're worried that the 7 force won't work, then yeah, just use any force. This deck itself is actually a marked deck of cards, so you can actually know if they don't pick the 7. So if you go think of a number between 1 and 10, and they think of, I don't know, let's just think of number 8, for instance, like that. Cool. They think of the number 8, and you know this is the 8 of diamonds just by using the marking system. Alternatively, you could use a memorized deck if you know how to memorize decks. I will actually, this brings me on to a good point. Later this year, I'm going to be bringing out a video all about how to improve your memory, because my memory was once really, really shocking. So I will be teaching you how to improve your memory, because mine's actually pretty good now, if I do say so myself. So yeah, that is a real easy force that you can do. Yeah, force deck of cards, or know what the card is that they're thinking of, either by a force, by a marked deck, or by using your memory. Either which way, you can then start to reveal what card they're thinking of. It's less of a prediction, this one, unless you do the 7 force, I suppose that you can use that as prediction, but you just slowly start to reveal it. One thing that I would say is don't reveal it straight away. So if they think of the 9 of clubs, as these are Daniel Madison cards, the 9 of clubs, it's the 9 of clubs, whatever. You've seen the marking system on the back. You just now simply have to reveal it slowly. Don't say straight away, oh, your card is the 9 of clubs. Reveal it slowly. I usually start off with the colour, so if it's red or black, obviously in this case it's black, which then narrows it down to the spades of the clubs, and then you can narrow it down to the clubs, and then you say, is it a number? Of course it's a number, because if I told you to think of a number, or if you just used a normal false, or you just let them pick any card, you just narrow it down from picture to number, high number, low number, or in this case it'll be a high number. So then, yeah, it's the 9 clubs. A lot of things that I see mind readers do is jump straight into telling them what they're thinking of. You know, if I'm going into a bit of a tangent now, but if they're thinking of something, it's good to reveal it slowly and not jump down it, because it makes it obvious what you're actually doing. Even if it's a peek, you know, if you've peeked a word and you say what it is straight away, and also there's no fun in that. So yeah, slowly reveal your mind reading abilities. Don't jump the gun. So in conclusion, we went through 3 different techniques and tricks for you to start performing and blow people's minds, your friends' minds probably, the next time you're out with them. And that is the end of the video. But before we finish everything off, my series that I spent 2 years making, Is Magic Real, is finally done. It's finally finished. Every single episode is on my YouTube channel right now. It will be linked somewhere, either in the description or on screen. So you can binge watch all 8 episodes if you want to. And if you're wondering what the series is about, well, the title is Magic Real. So you can probably figure it out from there. But like I said, that is the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.